Hopefully this will be a pretty fast one, but first time playing, we might do a few games. Take turns placing stones on a hex board or a size 4 or a square board of an odd size no larger than 9. The winner is the player who places a stone in the center cell. A placement n steps away from the perimeter must have at least n friendly pieces in sight. On the board, pieces see in all 8 directions. Okay. So if it's a placement of 2 steps away from the perimeter must have at least 2 friendly pieces in sight. I just added a number in there instead of n. Placement of 3 steps away from the perimeter must have at least 3 friendly pieces in sight.
So that's presumably where blocking comes into play?
So I believe we only have 1 in sight, so we can only place 1 away from the perimeter. If that makes sense. And then, yeah, wherever there would be 2 in sight, we can start like, yeah.
Yeah. This feels like it will play quick.
But I'm not sure. Not sure what to do. Okay, yeah, so blocking.
I tell you what, Insight worked a little bit differently than I was hoping it would.
Oh, yeah. You blocked yourself, I think.
Well, even cutting across, like the 2 that could see themselves across, it's not that I could then move 2. Which is sort of an interesting...
All right. I'm gonna send you another.
Weird. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if this was there before.
When
I went to make center, it was already like highlighted for me. I don't think.
Cool.
So I wonder if that's like a new like rematch type of thing.
It may just be because that was the last one you played.
Yeah, but usually like I still have to search for it.
Yeah.
Like even though if we send back and forth each other stuff, we still have to. I sent you a new game.
Oh, interesting. I do not see it. Wait, no, it's just show. Okay, there we go.
I mentioned there's another really short game that I do kind of want to look at real quick. If we just play like 3 games of this. Or we can play it for the rest of the time. I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
You had a lot of dead stone. Star point, and you have triangulation. So whoever gets or 4 directions, maybe 4 or 5 directions in sight, right?
Yeah.
4. Yeah, 4 directions. Is that the same? Is that the Jeff K? The chess Jeff K? There's a Jeff K that I believe made a chess variant, but I don't want to sound too stupid. All right. Yeah. Okay. So if the center point on your turn can see 4 stones in any of the 8 directions, so including diagonal, it's a win.
Oh.
So like mine can see 4 points right now, and I can go in the center.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. That's like.
And yours can see 3 right now after your stone.
Like, I wish that the directions framed.
Yeah, I think some different framings are. Maybe it's just easier for us, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if like when we write rules of like here's another way of saying the rules or here's something like that. Even though I don't see it this way, but go ahead and send me one, Center.
Yeah.
So yeah, if the center point, when it's your turn, if the center point can see 4 stones, then you can place one in the center. And that would be a victory. Yeah, 8 pieces, yeah, okay. I made a slightly different version with a replacement for Century. It was causing... And we played Full Cavalry recently, too. So I would think it would make sense to play on one of the 8 things that can see the center at first, but I'm not... And you did that as well. And we've been playing on like the 4 middle points, but the diagonals work the same. Or, similar. Alright, yeah, so 4 directions with your turn and 5 directions without your turn. So if I made a 5 direction one, you could only block one of them and then...
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Michael, this is another... I believe this is from both of them. Oh, no. Sorry, just Michael Amundsen.
It will be a much more interesting game out of all.
My latest versions, still testing, is Jailer, same as Lancer, and Archer, different type of diagonal slider. Yeah. I like...
Yeah, because if I could turn back time, I would play my pieces differently. Now I have no possible way to block your win.
I almost thought I had no possible block of... When you were going there, I was like, oh boy. Until I could see my moves, I didn't think... And I think that was the only one. Speaking about chess in the chat, I like the idea of... kind of like... Go ahead and send me one. We'll just do 1 or 2 more for the rest of the hour.
Yeah.
Musketeer chess, where you can pick different pieces, and you're only picking 2 or so. I like the idea of having, so 1 different rook, 1 different knight, 1 different bishop. I definitely like the idea of having a knight and bishop, but then having a 2 different minor pieces, at least. Just put minor pieces. And rook. There's a piece that I really like that I've always wanted to play instead of a rook, which is like a queen that is limited to 2 or 3 squares. I'd want to see if 2 or 3 was closer to a rook or not, but I haven't been able to play with that piece.
Yeah.
The problem with the Sentry was it doesn't belong in the same game as the Jailer or Lancer. There's too much confusion about pushing the Lancer to the edge. What happens? Yeah, I remember that. There had to be a special rule. Yeah, people can be very resistant to adding new pieces. So there has to be. I think there could be some balance of. I want to play with these pieces, but who will be willing to learn and play with these pieces? Yeah, and if the rules take forever explaining pieces, and yeah. Get more interesting here. Let's see what happens. So yeah, I wonder if going for the middle. Yeah, I wonder if that's a good thing or not. I mean, it makes sense because but then like, does the next layer come and then those just get blocked easily?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm having a hard time visualizing past.
Yeah.
This is the most complex version of the game we've had thus far.
Well, so how I mentioned of like, different ways of saying the rules. I think in a lot of games there's, even though that's the goal, there could be put like an intermediate goal. So say like, for Gamoku, obviously one of the simplest, the goal is to get 5 in a row. But it could also, kind of like here, the goal could say, 4 directions on your turn is a win, and 5 directions on not your turn is also a win. In the same way as Gamoku could say, if you have 4 in a row with neither on either side, that's also a win. If you have 3 in a row with neither on either side, that's a force check kind of thing. If you have if you make 2 threes, then that's a win. So that like there's other goals of making 5 because there's another goal of making. Nice. You gonna do one more?
Yeah. You want to send it? Or you want me to send it?
I'll go ahead and send it.
All right. Yeah, I feel like we don't play very many games that have sort of intermediate goals.
I think we do. It's just trying to figure out what those intermediate goals.
Yeah, that's true. I guess sometimes I think about intermediate goals as sort of like you have a primary objective and then you have secondary objectives.
Yeah. I more look at it as like this is the primary goal, but what do I actually have to do to reach that goal?
Yeah. I just want to be really clear. I did not place that first white stone on purpose.
What you're saying reminds me of the rules for Go. They don't necessarily mention needing 2 eyes, but it's a truth about life versus death. Yeah, so it was hard for me to understand Go for a little bit. I didn't understand the two eyes, and then even after I did a little bit, it took me a while to. There are such things as false eyes, so like it could look like an eye, but then there's still like learning what a false eye was and what that really meant. And yeah, so for Go for a bit, like I didn't. I understood that you had to capture the most space, but I didn't understand the intermediate goals of what I was doing to do that. And so there's just after like 30 times of playing Go, maybe I was just like, oh, I'm supposed to be making like a space that like can't be infiltrated, and that's like the space. Cool. Cool. Yeah, ready to call there?
Yeah.
Good games today. Enjoy it. Peace out.